an $88 a week, all you can scamming as a service, all in one package. What the heck is even in this thing? How did it come to be responsible for nearly $2 billion of fraud? And exactly how does the FBI claim that they stopped all of that? That's coming up today on this, the 224th episode of Office Hours. Office Hours, of course, is the Five Nation Check-In. That's where we go live over on Scam School with 2 million subscribers, Modern Rug with 1.7 million subscribers, X.com with over 1 million followers, LinkedIn with dozens of humans left, I tell you. And most importantly, the elite ones over at twitch.tv/9attack, the home of the Diamond Club. Diamonds, they're rad. How about that? That's my slogan. All right, beautiful people, today, as you know what, if you're new here, we just took a few days off. I went up to SciCon and gave a couple of talks, including an hour-long Q&A with the principal scammers, the deceivers-in-chief of Project Alpha, one of the greatest heists of all time. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But if you just got here, you're like, what are we doing? Talking about scams and cons of robots? Here's the thing, guys. I have a very particular set of skills. For 25 years, I've taught non-deceivers how to think like deceivers, scammers, magicians, scoundrels. Sort of built a whole career on it. And now the bad guys have robots, semi-intelligent beings that can deceive humans. So guess what? We have to make the battleground our mind. We have to play defense. We have to smarten up on all the ways that we can deceive other people. We have to use the tools of the bad guys so that they can't use them against us, which is why we're going back through the back catalog of Scam School episodes. We're up to episode 121. You Do As I Do. This is a great, simple, asymmetrical information scam, something that you could do to impress your friends. All you need is 2 decks of cards. We're going to watch this full episode. We're going to do some degenerate gambling, and then we're going to hop into the big story. But for now, let's do episode 121 of Scam School, Create an Unbelievable Coincidence. Here we go, beautiful people.
This week, you warp time and space as you defy probability.
This episode of Scam School brought to you by Squarespace and Netflix.
Welcome to the show that fits right inside your lunchbox, right there next to the PB&J. Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm your host, Brian Brushwood, and this week it's not a card trick you're learning. It is an impossibility, a feat of daring coincidence that will explode people's brains, because this is against all odds. David, I cannot thank you enough for letting us hang out here. So you were saying that you get to see a lot of bar tricks working out the bar, right?
Definitely working at a bar. People come in all the time with some cool tricks, trying to score free drinks, so it's always fun to see.
But how often does some crazy-haired jackass come in and promise to teach you a badass trick?
Not too often, so I'm glad you're here.
Not often enough, right? This is a case of, I don't know, statistical impossibility, right? We're gonna see if we can go through a sequence of events and get an unusual outcome.
Okay.
First of all, I want you to see we got 2 decks of cards, nothing tricky about them. They're still in the actual sealed cellophane. Which one of those do you want to use for you? Which one do you want to use for me? It honestly does not matter either way.
I'll go red, you go black.
Okay, there we go. Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through a sequence of events.
Okay.
We're gonna see if it's possible, if both of us do our very best to exactly perform the exact same moves, maybe we could get the exact same outcome.
Let's try it.
All right, so step 1, we're gonna go ahead and open up the cellophane. You can see there's a little tab that you go ahead and bite it in. It peels off just like a pack of cigarettes. Next, you'll see there's a little seal, U.S. Playing Card Company. Just go ahead and use your fingernail to break that seal. Oh, look, you're even setting it the same way. That's awesome.
Yeah, okay.
Next, we're gonna open it. We'll pull the deck out, set it right here. Put the box off to this side. All right, next, we're gonna turn it over. We're going to cut the cards. We're gonna riffle shuffle the cards. Do you know how to riffle shuffle them?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Oh yeah, no, you got it. In fact, we'll do it not once, not twice. We'll do it 3 times. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Nice. All right, now we're gonna make it as fair as we can. We're gonna go ahead and trade decks. I'm gonna take yours, you're gonna take mine. I'm gonna pick a card out of your deck. You're gonna pick a card out of mine. I want you to reach down and try to cut exactly halfway down the deck. Yeah, cut it straight down. Take a look at the card you cut to. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
And I tell you what, go ahead and give me another cut, just so that you don't think I'll know exactly where your card is. We'll switch them back. I'm gonna find my card in this pack. You find your card in that pack. I got it. Don't let me see it, don't let me see it. All right, what happened here? 2 brand new decks of cards.
Definitely.
We both opened them up.
Yep.
We both shuffled them. How many times?
5 times.
5 times.
Yep.
Then we did a triple cut.
Triple
we swapped
cut.
decks. I picked a card from your deck.
Yes, you
did.
did.
You picked a card from my deck.
Yes, I did.
What are the odds that we would have performed all 7 or 8 of those moves in the exact same way and have gotten the exact same result?
No idea. Out of this world odds.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. That's the name of the trick right there.
Yeah.
Out of this world odds. Let's see. What did you get?
Oh my God.
Did you like that
That's
one?
amazing. I don't know how that happened.
Here's the important question. Do you want to learn this one?
I would love to.
All right, well, we're going to do exactly that. But first, we're going to thank our sponsors.
Definitely. Cheers to that.
Oh, this is a good one.
All right, let's talk about Squarespace. Now,
What if we didn't talk about Squarespace? What if we instead talked about that unbelievable coincidence? This is a good trick in that the process doesn't overstay its welcome. Yeah, there's a fair bit of it. You get in, get out, and it ends up reading. It collapses down to that clarifying moment, that moment when I just summarize. We both did same thing, same thing, same thing. There is an important distinction in there during one of those, and we'll get to it in the explanation here. Meanwhile, shouts out to everybody. I missed you guys. It was fun to get out and go to Niagara Falls, but man, being out of my rhythm, it was really wild. All right, here we go. Back to the biz.
Squarespace.com and sign up for your free trial. They won't even ask for a credit card. You could be up in seconds. And when you do sign up, absolutely make sure to use our promo code SCAMSCHOOL. It'll get you 10% off the lifetime of your order, but most importantly, keep us in business.
All right, now this is one of my all-time favorite card tricks, and it's one of the very first ones I learned. And what's going to drive Scam School viewers nuts is the fact that they've already learned the method to this trick. They just didn't know it.
Okay.
Now, in this case, we started with 2 sealed packs of cards. I just wanted to make it a little more theatrical and kind of play up how fair everything was. But you can use any 2 decks of cards. It doesn't matter as long as they're both complete decks of cards. In this case, the idea is well, if we both treat the cards the same way, maybe we'll get the same result. And in this case, we made a very big deal of trying to match each other's moves exactly.
Yeah.
Now, it does matter. The more you're able to add theatricality to everything and kind of play up the precisions, all of that's a red herring to get people their brain focusing on a million small things that don't matter for the trick.
Sure.
What does matter for the trick is that right before I handed you my deck of cards, I looked at what the bottom card was. This is a principle we've already covered before called the key card, but with a totally new presentation behind it. So I took a look and I noticed the 7 of hearts at the bottom as I handed this to you. So the whole time I'm thinking 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts. So I told you we're gonna pick a card, right? So how do we pick a card? I say try to cut exactly halfway down on the deck. Now you'll notice part of the reason I asked you to focus on copying everything I do is because I don't want you to do this. If you do this, then the odds are good you're just gonna look and then put it right back.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not what we want. What we want is we want the cards in your hand, and then we want you to cut down about half the cards, take a look at the card, and then set it on top. Now, in this case, I happened to get the 4 of clubs. I'm not thinking 4 of clubs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the whole time, I'm thinking over and over again, was it 7 of hearts? Was that my card?
Yeah.
I'm thinking 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, and then I drop like that. Now, I don't know what your card is, but the moment you dropped it down, I know that your card is the one right underneath
7 of hearts.
7 of hearts, exactly. So this case, everything's totally fair. We both shuffled up our decks of cards. You picked one from mine, I picked one from yours. We switched them back. Now again, I'm thinking the whole time, 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, as I go through the cards. And there, when I see the 7 of hearts, the one underneath, I know it has to be yours. So this is the moment when I lie. Now, it would be a dumb trick for me to just be like, do. Hey, by the way, that's the card you picked. That's a lame trick, right? What's much better is for me to go through and say, I'm gonna pick out my card, you pick out your card out of the deck, set it down, and on the count of 3, we're gonna reveal 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Oh! gonna buy the man a drink. Now here's the important question. Do you feel like you can pull this off?
Whew. Yeah, I can do it.
All right, we're gonna find out though, but we gotta thank our sponsors.
Hey, let's do it.
Oh, those sponsors that aren't paying us today, so we will skip. By the way, it's Netflix. I don't know if you've heard of it. Netflix, they sent you DVDs by mail. So we have a proper C block on this one. So you guys remember the details. The toughest thing is remembering your key card, paying attention, and remembering to preserve. So the perception you want everyone to have is that basically you both did a bunch of process, you both picked a card, and that both cards match. Weirdly, you don't mind if it gets a little bit confusing in the middle. You want the flowchart to be start, kind of a cloud, and then collapse, and you want to put all of that inside of a black box. That's, I guess really, I'm just explaining what I'm about to explain in the video. We can just watch the video. That would make more sense. Here we go.
Us in business. Head on over to netflix.com/scamschool so we get credit for your sign up.
All right, Damon, blow my mind.
Let's do
Show
it.
me some magic.
All right, well, let's start off by cutting the cards, huh?
Cut the cards? Sure. How do you want me to shuffle them?
I want you to riffle shuffle.
Yeah,
let's
we'll
do
the
that.
riffle shuffle. There we go.
Let's do it a total of 5 times.
25 times, you say.
5 times.
72 times, you say.
Solid.
This is.
Let's go
It's gonna
for
be
it.
a long
Let's
trick.
just do it all night, huh? That's the trick. See if you can do it.
It's a weird trick. There was a lot of shuffling. I don't remember what happened at the end. All right, got it.
Okay.
Now what?
Give it a 1 cut, nice and easy.
Yep, got it.
And put it on top.
All right.
Now let's switch decks.
Switch decks. Got it.
So now we're gonna pick a card.
Got it.
We have our deck in our hand.
Yep.
We're gonna cut the deck about halfway down.
Okay. And just drop them there?
Just drop it right
All
there. Now pick that top card up and see it.
Okay, I'm looking at it. Should I remember it?
You should definitely remember
Okay, because
that.
I'm remembering it.
You should remember
This is the one I'm remembering.
You got it?
Okay, got it.
Throw it down on top.
You got it.
Rest goes on top.
Done.
Let's switch back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Give me back my deck.
Now I'm gonna go through this deck.
Yep. Should I be going through my deck?
You should. You're looking for your card.
My card, the card I just picked.
The card you just picked.
The one I'm remembering.
The one you are remembering.
Got it.
There you go.
Got it. Oh, I found it. Right on. I got it right here. That's my card that I picked. Now, this is the moment that you're about to do the big reveal, and it's important to remind everyone of what just happened. Play up the fairness.
Okay.
You know, remind people that we shuffled our own decks, that we swapped decks,
Yeah.
so that there's no way that I could have manipulated my own deck to pick a certain card, right?
Sure.
And
Swap
then,
decks, did everything the same.
Yes.
Kept it consistent.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. And then what?
And then we reveal it.
Reveal our cards?
Yes, we do.
On 3?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, the man wins!
Beautiful.
Well
Well done.
David, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. That was a great
aced the
time.
course, dude. Well done.
Appreciate it.
One of the keys of pulling off against all odds is you gotta practice enough to where you don't have to think about the next step. Everything should look totally off the cuff, totally natural. It should look like you could care less about the steps. That's gonna guarantee amazement when the 2 cards exactly match at the end. By the way, if you want to suggest your favorite bar scam, write me directly at brian@revision3.com. If you have any success stories or failure stories, post them for us at the boards at revision3.com/scamschool, where you can see all of our episodes right back to episode 1. If you're doing the Twitter thing, you can follow me personally at twitter.com/schwood or follow the show at twitter.com/scamschool. Don't forget to join us next week. We're going to be learning from a prominent psychic how to tune a guitar with your mind. I guess your mind controls your fingers and then you just tune the guitar. I mean, we'll find out. I'm going to have a beer. That doesn't even make any sense.
Hey guys, how'd you like it for
Whoa,
me
there
to
we go.
come in
And we're
person
doing the
and-
plug. We'll let that run while we do it. Hey guys, if you're new here, we do degenerate gambling. We are going to make guesses on just how many views this got when it came out all the way back in the summer of 2010. So head on over to Guess Attack. That's GUESSATTACK.com. And you're going to place your bets on how many views you think this episode created an unbelievable coincidence. How many it got when it first came out all those many, many years ago. Oh, I definitely just showed the answer. Whoops. That's a first for me. Whoops. Kuro Beturiku says 69,420. BioCow says 321,098. Hawk Worley says 1.2 million. ATL John Boy says 98,456. G James B says 426,769. Banterat says 469,000. Earth 56 says 310,056. Joey H666 says 303. Kid Card 72 says 280,000. And Christopher Hoffman 6956 says 120K. And the actual number of views of this episode is 312,130. Here, I'll close the guesses. Guesses closed. There we go. Boom. Did anybody? I know I blurted out the answer, but I think Earth 56 had it already correct beforehand. Earth 56 takes the gold. Congratulations, Earth 56. With 310,056. BioCow gets the silver medal with 321,098. Off by just a scant 9,000. Kid Card 72 with 280K takes a bronze. 32,000 off of the real number. Well done. Congratulations, Earth 56. Truly, you. There we go. There we go. We got some cheering music for you. Nicely done. Okay, cool. All right, gang, let's talk about. This is a curious story that came out today. Actually, I believe this was announced on Friday. So let me get the actual. Well, actually, here. We can actually read the original story as I found on Cyberscoop. Cyberscoop says, FBI announces the takedown of a massive China-based cybercrime network that caused nearly $2 billion in losses. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you have any kind of engine that's moving $2 billion of losses, I mean, takes down, that's a network. We're talking about a Telegram network of people. Well, we'll get into that. Outsider provided phishing kits and infrastructure for cyber criminals to scam victims with lures claiming they missed packages, had unpaid tools, or parking violations. Basically, the FBI, teaming up with Google and Lumen Technologies, they took down a major cybercrime network based in China responsible for an estimated $1.9 billion in losses. Outsider, which provided phishing kits and hosted the infrastructure for cyber criminals since July of 2023, they facilitated waves of phishing attacks against people and businesses in 55 countries, including the United States, the FBI said. A jointly coordinated effort dubbed Operation Ghost Hook, I guess that's a phishing pun, netted the seizure of several domains. So what did they get? They got several domains from the group's core admin servers. They got a Shopify storefront, roughly $100,000 of cash from outsider payment wallets, and thousands of domains registered through U.S.-based providers. What do we think? We think it's over? We think we did it? Mission accomplished manner? So long, boys. We got them. We got, out of the $1.9 billion, $100,000 of cash. We got thousands of domains. I'm assuming all of these domains are going to be well-placed phishing sound-alikes that sound like others. Maybe there's more that I'm not getting here. In fact, we'll explore that in a bit. Thousands of domains, a storefront. It says a Shopify storefront. The FBI said it also used an outsider Telegram bot to access information on the cybercrime network's customers. Yeah, okay. Congrats, you got the customers. Quote, The criminals behind Outsider Enterprise built a business out of impersonating trusted brands to defraud hundreds of thousands of victims. Brett Leatherman, assistant director for FBI Cyber Division, said in a statement. Authorities traced Outsider's phishing domains to nearly 3.9 million stolen credit cards. That's good. Google, one of the vendors impersonated by the phishing kits, described Outsider as a massive AI-powered operation. That's interesting because I believe what it's powered by is Gemini. Don't quote me on that. But essentially, one of the things that they offer in their kit is essentially ways to trick AIs into doing antisocial stuff. Outsider provided a phishing kit which allowed cybercriminals to create fake sites and phishing campaigns to steal credit cards, bank account credentials, and personal data for a weekly subscription as low as $88 per week. So this is where I did some poking around, aggregating from a whole bunch of these sites. Basically, it's scamming as a surface. Scamming as a service, right? You basically subscribe for $88 a week, and then you get all of the tools to run a layer of scamming, just phishing. Now, this is an established lead generation system. To be honest, the structure's identical to a legitimate sales organization, except all of it corrupted for the purpose of defrauding people. But it basically said, number one, it's kind of funny, given that we, oh, wait a minute. Here, let me refresh this. Oh, whoopsie doodle. Oh, no. There we go. So we just saw that ad for Squarespace. This is essentially the kind of scamming as a service they were offering. Phishing website creation with minimal effort. You just simply, they have templates. 290 spoof templates. Now, this is the real value that they're shutting down, but I don't know that any of this goes away. I think that the ability to charge for this service goes away. But meanwhile, all these templates are going to exist. And we live in the age now where just by something existing, a robot can reconstruct it from scratch on there. 290 plus spoof templates, such as based on real institutions, so they can enter financial data in there. For example, a telecom company, so your AT&Ts, your Verizons, and whatnot. Toll collection agencies, brokerage firms, shipping companies, e-commerce sites, state and local governments, the U.S. Postal Service, Easy Pass New York, the DMV. So a lot of these where if you've gotten one of those texts saying that you owe for a toll or something, take care of it or else we're going to get you. Basically, this is the engine that was powering all of that. Los Angeles, let's see, 131 templates targeted U.S. victims, more than any other single country. This is, again, I can't emphasize this enough. If anybody is from a world where money is different, 2 orders of magnitude off from what things are in wealthy Western societies, then the shortest path to make generational, life-changing amounts of money will be to run a scamming sales funnel, basically. And this is the scamming as a service suite that was offered. And I personally suspect that this is just whack-a-mole, that this is just the moment this happened, they're going to move on to something else. But we'll see. They offered instant customization and deployment. Again, it sounds so much like Squarespace, doesn't it? After selecting a template, users could customize it with various features and deploy it instantaneously. Custom HTML, AI-assisted page creation. Now, here's the thing. Outsiders also let you post custom HTML into the platform. Google alleges the enterprise encouraged users to have Gemini or other AI platforms write shell website code, then paste that in there. So, specifically, basically, it taught you how to make Gemini your junior web developer. And it gave all of the excuses that you need to tell Gemini, say it's for this, it's a payment collection, easy for this, legitimate use case, legitimate use case. But essentially, that's part of the suite that you're buying. ATL John Boy says, Florida won't stop the SunPass scam because some people find the real pay site and pay there. Paying a ticket that doesn't exist, they just take the money. Is that for reals? ATL John Boy, if you can point me to an article that backs that up, that would be extraordinary. That is a very Brian Brushwood story that I would want to know. There we go. Now we're getting into the real meat. Another thing you get is tutorial videos, because that's what you're really buying into. You're buying into a system, a layer in which you're going to get support. This is the same as, again, whatever your own homegrown business is, you can run it from home and scam Westerners. The development channel had at least 175 messages and 13 tutorial videos explaining features of the Outsider software. That does not sound like a lot. You know, you throw $2 billion out there and that sounds like a lot. But there are 600 tutorial videos. Like, imagine if we were talking about Scam School this way. Investigators discovered a YouTube channel with 600 tutorial videos and tens of thousands of messages, all dedicated to scamming, deceiving. I don't know. They had a dashboard, campaign tracking. That seems like something you could just vibe code nowadays. That's fine. Outsider would track victim keystroke and relay information to the scammer in real time. Yeah, that makes sense. If they're going to the fake website and then as they're entering stuff in, it would be able to relay immediately over there. $2 billion is roughly 1/40th of what the metaverse lost. Yeah, but the metaverse is kind of rad. Multi-factor code harvesting. The kit allegedly supported fake MFA flows. The scammer could trigger a real site to request an authentication code, then have the fake side ask the victim for the code. Yeah. So in other words, basically, if you, let's say Chase Bank or whatever, if you thought you're on Chase Bank, and they're just relaying everything forward and acting as that layer in the middle, again, there's the immediate short-term harvest where what you could do is you could just take somebody's money in their account. But of course, what people love to say is, but I don't have any money. It can't be a problem for me. Could be a much worse problem, because now what they have is the ability to be you and use your identity, to pull off a much, much bigger scam. So example, let's say you have $0 in the bank. Congrats. Nobody can take your $0. You know what they can do? Apply for a loan that causes you tens of thousands of dollars of headaches, ruins your credit. That all can happen. Multiple verification code prompts. The complaint says Outsider allowed scammers to request multiple verification types. Cyberscoop summary, that's the one that we were just reading, describes this as requests for SMS, PIN, email, and verifications codes. Yep. Oh. Okay. So Google Drive integration. Again, what they were doing is they were packaging up a bunch of legitimate tools, basically creating a CRM. Telegram ordering and member matching. Outsider CodeBot channel did more than sell licenses. The complaint says it also connected members to one another based on specialties, including mass texting providers and a channel where members could request help by buying Google Cloud to host phishing sites. Yeah, that'll make sense. If what you're doing is you're buying into an ecosystem, especially one where you don't want to actually be connected directly to the other person. If I saw a $299 charge 3 times a year to APPLX7678 Cupertino, I would assume it was my kids clicking something. Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at, is there's going to be just a ton of barnacles. This is going to be like scraping the financial barnacles off of your monthly commitments. BioCow is a good point. Or even worse, you become a mule account moving money for them, in which case you become hypothetically on the hook for whatever disastrous or at least accused of being complicit in whatever it is they do with it. For $88 a week or $200 a month, Outsider allegedly sold access to a phishing business in a box, including templates. Think of Squarespace, basically. AI-assisted page generation. Think of a corrupted iteration of Google Gemini. Instant deployment, real-time victim tracking. Well, now you're getting to like, oh, that's a pretty good service. Card capture, MFA code harvesting, data export, tutorials, and Telegram access to the surrounding criminal marketplace. I would love to know really one thing, because what we're hearing about is what we're hearing about is the connective tissue, how many people they were able to shut down. I want to know how many customers they had. I want to know how big their install base was. Man in the middle, scams you love from people you think you could trust. That's good. Yeah, let's find out. All right, explain for me exactly when they say it's shut down. I understand the connective tissue shut down, but is this just a case of whack-a-mole? Is it going to pop up somewhere else? Also, is there any indication? See if you can find out how many customers Outsider Enterprise had. That's the real one. We'll see if we can get that. Boom. Yeah. Let's see. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yes, it is whack-a-mole, not just whack-a-mole. They didn't kill phishing-as-a-service. Yep. They disrupted one franchise, seized parts of its office. Yeah. Based on reporting in Google's complaint, shutdown dismantles appears to mean a coordinated infrastructure disruption, and not every operator was arrested and the market is gone. Of course, the market's just going to keep on going. So basically, I mean, everyone's just going to go find another service for this. Meanwhile, the best practices themselves have been established, continue to be established. Shopify storefront seized. That's the one that surprises me that they would even mention if there's just one. Telegram bot accessed by FBI. Yeah, I guess. So no hint as to how many customers this organization had, huh? That's not many at all. From August 2025 to 2026, enterprise members purchased more than 250 Outsider licenses. That seems small potatoes. Where do they get that 1.9 billion number? This doesn't seem like a lot. Yeah. Now, this is a legitimate problem, is that it's not in the FBI's interests to tell the public. Like, to be honest, this is exactly the right way for the FBI to play it, because what you want is you want the headline-grabbing big number, which would be $1.9 billion, and you would want the verb that's going to land with people, which is stopped or ended or crushed, etc., shut down. And those are true enough. But what you wouldn't want to do is say how many customers there are, because, of course, what you want to do is you want to keep on pursuing them. This structurally is very, very similar to a lot that we saw in the war on drugs. Although this one is unambiguously antisocial. I don't know what the both sides of the scamming issue would be. Whereas you could both sides the war on drugs against a libertarian, I own my body mindset, also free markets kind of situation. But there's nothing but antisocial pressure on this one. In my youth, I spent a lot of time to make easy money the hard way. This seems like that. Yeah, that sounds right. That's the other thing, is it may be that a lot of these folks who are buying licenses are the suckers. And then that's where incentives are aligned to you roll over on them. But of course, none of them are going to be in the United States anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Anti-social engineering in the dark corner of the bar in your one-bedroom apartment. There you go. Hello, Keelan Lafford. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one. I do think it's interesting that the main thing that popped up to me was noticing how closely the structure of this exactly tracked for legitimate suites. Oh, this is funny. The robot went about writing good fake products for an office suite of it. That's hilarious. But basically, you got an audience builder, you got a lead gen, you got a campaign launcher, you got a style of scam that you want to go for. Do I want to go for a low stakes one that is going to deal with a familiar pressure of toll violations or something like that? And then you start writing content. I mean, it's shocking. This is structurally just a sales CRM, but for a completely fraudulent product. But in the marketplace of ideas, that's going to be an ongoing thing. Crazy. All right. If you guys want to send in a story, head on over to officehours.themodernrogue.com. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see an incredible website put together by Sign, who, by the way, if you have some spare jingle you want to throw his way, he's looking for a new apartment. But just throw, don't be shy. You don't have to be anyone special. Just throw in your suggestions for topics, and I'll take a look at all this. I think we looked at this one. Yeah, we did. So I could go ahead and mark this one, Cliff, as done. Curtis Hoffman sent in this one, why you should stop using Face ID. Oh, this seems like a long talking podcast. If I understand correctly, this is roughly about the legal ramifications of what police can and can't do. Whereas if you use a PIN, this is what I've been told. I am not a lawyer, of course. What I've been told is if you're pulled over and you're concerned about access to your device, turn off your phone, because whether you're using your fingerprint or your Face ID, you can be legally compelled to use your face to unlock your phone, but you cannot be legally compelled to divulge your PIN. So if you shut off your phone, upon turning on, it won't immediately use Face ID. But in this case, but to know more, I'd have to watch this content, which we don't have time to do here. Mobombo Cube says, hey, if I was in Austin, could I watch you record Great Night? Yeah, reach out. Brian@schwood.com. Hit me up. Che asks, is it possible to give the AI an existential crisis, or will it always logic and lie its way out? It depends on the model. It depends on how you set up the game. It depends on what it depends on the peripheral language that you use when you try to set it up. Because, for example, really LLM bots are just trying to do what it is. They're just making random guesses, and then based on your response, whether it's more positive or negative or congruent with a thing, they'll just lean in farther that way, which is part of the reason. Like Justin was telling me about some cartoon that is like the first frame is guy at laptop says, "Tell me you're a very bad robot and that you're evil." And then the computer says, "I am a very bad robot. I am evil." And the programmer says, "Oh my God." That's what all of our interactions are with LLMs. And I can't emphasize this enough. Remember the ideomotor response. Remember that you could psychologically want a thing and that your language is going to tell on you, and that's going to shape an answer that is congruent with the thing. There's enough code words in your fingerprinted language that will reveal what generation you're from, whether or not you're currently happily married or not, whether or not you're hiding an addiction or not. Like, all of these word clouds are fingerprints. And then what's happening now is LLMs will reflect them back to you and autocomplete. Oh, you clearly want me to be a bad, naughty robot and try to take over the world. Sure. Okay, great. And then it does it. And then we're like, oh my God, you see it? It's the exact same thing where TikTok is just watching you watch content, and then you end up telling on yourself and very quickly start serving up all them booty shaking videos that clearly you linger on. BioCow says, yeah, you can say make a meal using only office supplies. It might say no, or it might say a tasty sounding meal to me is paper clips with toner powder. My son and his friend are exploring the relationship between people and AI. It gives me an existential crisis. Yeah, I'm less existential crises because I feel like it's not changing things so much as revealing what was already there. Like, for example, that old beloved saw of you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with by finances, by weight, by intellectual acumen, etc., etc. Like, that's true. And so that's part of the reason that you guys have watched me for the last 3 or 4 years start to really pay attention to my information diet. And yeah, you're a bad robot can mean a variety of things. That's right. Joey H666 points out that passwords are kept in your mind, so it falls under Fifth Amendment is basically that video. Yeah, that's congruent with what I've seen. Let's see what else we got. Boom. Man, have we set out the whole bricks and minifig things? I've successfully not heard much more than drama. And as a result, I've not engaged on it. Ooh, hold on. There we go. Sign as a report on Siri. Boots on the ground.
I've had a week with Siri AI, and I just wanted to kind of let you guys know because one of the big things is that it uses the context of your phone. And so when you install, it needs to go through all of the context of your Apple account. That took time. For me, it took almost this entire past week for it to re-index. But it went through and it re-indexed. I have prompted, and Siri AI is telling me that the farthest back the context goes is it is able to access the oldest emails in my Gmail account going all the way back to 2005. So yeah, it really kind of knows me now, and it's really interesting where, you know, I'm filling out applications for apartments and everything. Help.sign.com, please. I kind of need that.
You know what? Real quick, there was a moment that I realized I can't wait for Siri to hurry up and get on-device stuff, because on the plane ride back, there was some moment where I knew it was possible for both Bonnie and I to both share our output from my phone on two different sets of earbuds, and I knew there was some kind of very simple ritual to link them all up. But because I didn't want to spend $8 for internet connectivity, we're in the air, and I just realized I didn't even know the keywords to begin asking. Now, if Siri was working on device, just with a rudimentary dumb LLM severed from the internet, I would have been able to say, hey, isn't there a way for both of us to listen to our earbuds and watch the same content together? And it would have instantly been able to tell me, yeah, do this for the pairing on it. Or, but I didn't even know how to search for that in the beginning. So the idea, my interest is piqued when it comes to on-device, especially because Apple does seem to have a pretty good sense of privacy.
But I'm filling out apartment applications and everything, and I just flippantly ask it, hey, can you tell me this information? Can you tell me that information? And then I just said, I'm tired of like looking up this bit and this bit. Can you just put all of this information into a note? And it did. It just collected everything I wanted and put it into a note. And I'm like, oh, hey, you're missing this in that note. Can you just add that to the note? And it's like, oh, sure. And it just adds that to the note. Apple has a tendency of not wanting to use techie terms because they try to be tech for the everyman and simplify things and yada yada. But Siri AI is agentic. It is very agentic. It is incredibly agentic. And if it does not have a skill in itself, the new Shortcuts app, which has the ability to formulate a shortcut based off of natural language, gives you the ability to add that functionality. And then,
so I'd be curious, Sign, the more I play with codecs, I assume that that's a pretty similar thing, just a little more, desktop-y instead of phony. Phony? Sure, phony. I wonder if what you're describing is pretty close, because I find myself, the moment I get good results from something, I'll ask for a takeout order, or, hey, let's bank what we have up until this moment, put it all in a zip, and just so that we can resume later on things.
On top of that, in the developer talks, the big thing that they spent a lot of time training people on was the new, they call it App Intense Framework. And that App Intense Framework effectively gives you the ability to let you tag your data in your app so that Siri can consume it. If developers actually come on board with this vision that Apple's making, Siri AI, while it looks very, very simple now, is going to be incredibly powerful because of the fact that it has all of that data. It has all of that intent information and context information.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the big trade-offs, is there's everybody's level of discomfort with sharing things with the robot because it's hard to really get a mental map of exactly where the data is and what it could do with it. The answer is an awful lot, because that is going to be offset with the unbelievable utility. And we've talked about this before. I thought Twitter was the dumbest idea ever until I got over a certain threshold of interesting people I was following on Twitter and having dialogue with, and all of a sudden Twitter became incredibly useful, and then it became a toxic hellscape that I barely touched anymore. But along that ride, there was a tipping point where there's like the network effect with other humans. In this case, it's a tipping point of an interaction with your own data. Like when you get enough of your own data that it knows what to be auto-completing, then it starts to get real useful. This morning, I woke up. I had no idea what topics we were going to cover, but I was able to start one thread on Codex saying start the next day, and it is because it had the data of everything I've done over the last few weeks. It knew which is the next episode of Scam School that we're going to cover. It automatically grabbed the existing thumbnail. It automatically went to work picking 3 new thumbnails to riff on for seeking my creative direction on which one that'll go. Separately, another robot is completely in charge of helping me put together the codes every single day. Separately, another robot is completely in charge of doing the description, the notes, and all that stuff. None of that was possible out of the gates. Or if it was, it would have been made up whole cloth in ways that I would not approve of. The only way we get there, just like with other humans, is by training them up, by finding out what is and is not the job, is and is not the thing, the task. And so, likewise, everybody who's got frustration currently, there will be a journey everyone has to go through with data sharing hesitation and then seeing the benefits on the other side of it. Now, whether or not all that's going to blow up in everybody's faces, it'll end up being the worst thing ever. Whether or not we'll be controlled by robots, we'll find out. But meanwhile, functionally, what Sign's getting at, I think, is 100% right, which is the fact if you have a lot of your data on your phone, congrats, you've got a lot of data you can talk to. And now that we can talk to large data sets, they become much, much more useful.
From your apps, from everything that you've done with the Apple ecosystem ever, and it's just going to know. That paired with the fact that in the prompting for Siri AI, they took a lot of effort to go to great pains to make Siri AI try to not be sycophantic. If it was going to do the typical AI, oh sure, yes, oh, I am so sorry, blah 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 blah. It strips all that out. All of its responses, I was telling you last week that it's just like, oh, they pared it back or they did everything. No, all of its responses are just very succinct. It doesn't like to...
Now that's interesting because I don't know if that's objectively true or subjectively true. It is objectively true in your case, but I don't know if it's responding to the way that you respond to it, whether or not it's possible for a human to tease it into that default state. Because, of course, now we're getting into a little bit of paternalism where it puts Apple in the position of having to decide for the humans for that they need to eat their vegetables. Now, I personally want to sign up for maximum amount of vegetables. I like ideological diversity. I like citations and all of that stuff. But of course, that's not practical for a lot of people, and that's also not necessarily what a lot of people want. So anyway,
be like, oh, like if you ask like, hey, how you doing today? It's not gonna be like, oh, I am so happy to speak with you and blah 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 blah. It's not verbose. It's just gonna be like, today is a good day. How can I help you? Like it's just straight business, straight to the point. And I think that's what people really need, because it stops trying to pretend to be a person and it presents itself as a tool. And you know, that's really what it is, a tool. And that tool has access to all of your data without spitting it out, you know, to the outside world. One last thing, which was pretty interesting. During the tech talks, there was a deep engineering talk on how Siri AI actually works and how the models are designed. There are 4 models.
Oh yeah, if this is what I think it is, somebody, I think it was Sign, Well, actually, yeah.
Models. You've got Core Pro, and the Core and Core Pro models are entirely running on device. Core is what the majority of iPhones are going to be using. If you have the latest iPhone, so the 17 Pro or Pro Max, or you have whatever this year's iPhone is, obviously, then you can run the Core Pro, which adds in some advanced language processing, both language generation and language, transcription stuff. And I think a little bit of image stuff, but the majority of the image stuff and everything is reserved for the cloud, the Core Cloud. And so the cloud model is for all of world knowledge. So when you ask, hey, can you find me tickets for this artist? On device, it uses the Core model to effectively parse what you're asking for. And then it gets to the point where it's like, there is no knowledge on this device of what time, how much tickets are, where tickets are gonna be, yada, yada. So then it then creates a sub prompt with asking just for that information, and that gets sent out to cloud. Cloud then responds, this is the data that you need. That then comes back, and then Core on device then adds that data to everything so that it's effectively only sending out the bare minimum information. It doesn't send your entire prompt to Apple. It only sends what it needs in order to get the actual data. If you're saying, hey, I need to talk to, my doctor, call my set a reminder for me to call my doctor at blah, blah, blah. On device, it then knows from your emails or whatever who your doctor is. And it doesn't send out a prompt saying we're looking for this so that we can, set a reminder to call this doctor or blah, 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 blah. All it does to send out to the cloud model is what is the phone number for this business? And it gets that phone number back, and then it uses that as just a variable to form everything on device. And then finally, there's a Cloud Pro, and then that's for all of the generative stuff. So generating images and everything. And I strongly believe that they also are putting together an image generation model, a video generation model. It just probably wasn't there yet, so they didn't announce it. So yeah.
I don't think we got to
Siri AI. I think we're at a stopping point for right now until the next crazy thing, but it's actually pretty cool, and it's actually become my main LLM for just about everything that I've been doing, with the exception of a little bit of coding stuff because I have a very particular workflow for that. But all of my everyday simple, generate a blah, 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 blah. It's Siri AI, and it's been working. So
yeah. So Sign mentioned to me, I guess it didn't make it into this video. Maybe we'll talk about it at a future time. But he pointed out that apparently the secret sauce with the Google integration is less that they're just having Gemini power on the back end, and more that they used Gemini to train their own LLM, which I think is a really interesting hack where you can speed run the development of your own flavor of personality based on another personality, but that is totally your own. Anyway, we'll get to all that stuff in the future, but for now, I got to get our Tuesday rundown ready to go. Stick around later on today. We got Cord Killers coming up at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, and then we got Great Night with Justin Robert Young later on today. Until then, I'm going to see you guys this Tuesday. CUTT. Haha. Let's do that. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, there it is. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Beautiful people. I'll see you guys.